I am condescending on purpose.
Up next, it's time for Brad vs. TikTok, my daily segment where I take on the craziest ideas from across the clock app.
Pronoun of the day is slugs.
Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet, and do hit that like button as we go along to reward me for losing brain cells and suffering, all for your entertainment and pleasure. Today, we're going to react to the single most insufferable woke TikToker of all time, who we actually featured earlier. This is how I discovered her earlier last week when we talked about the White Women for Kamala Zoom call. She was featured on there and engaged in her kind of shtick, which is this incredibly condescending teacher voice talking down to Americans about politics as if we are toddlers or kindergartners or the like.
Just take a beat, and instead we can put our listening ears on.
Well, since that cursed day and cursed event, I have had her content fed to me by the TikTok algorithm, and because I had to see it, so do you. Here is one video where Mrs. Frazzle explains how she would talk to an aunt who is upset at somebody else having lots of tattoos. Let's take a listen.
Gravy, Aunt Maisie, that was not nice, friend. Let me share some of my calm with you, okay? What is one thing we can see that isn't a tattoo? What's one thing you can smell? Shine on, okay? What other people do with their body is none of your beeswax, friend. Not everyone believes in hell, but do you think telling someone they're gonna burn forever and ever is a good choice or a sad choice? It's a super sad choice. Aw, I feel sad when I hurt my friends too. That's catch a bubble, Aunt Maisie. No, all done talking about hell.
Catch a bubble.
Got it? Let's turn this choice around. You can say something kind or keep your inside thought in your brain.
So this just honestly made me queasy. And guys, if you don't understand the catch a bubble thing, it's what you tell kids. So you say catch a bubble when they're talking and they go like this, and then they stop talking. It's literally a trick used by camp counselors and teachers to get first graders to shut up. But that is how Mrs. Frazzled is suggesting that people speak and approach their conservative or Republican or out of touch aunts and uncles. That's kind of the theme of her playlist that this is from, where she gentle parents adults and kind of tries to re-educate them on their ignorant views. And what's crazy about this one is I literally agree with her wholeheartedly on her actual point. I don't care at all if someone else has tattoos. It's not my thing, but knock yourself out. And I would absolutely roll my eyes at like an older relative who was complaining, oh, can you see all her tattoos? But literally this woman makes me want to disagree with her, even though I agree with her. She repels me so greatly that she makes me want to become the absolute antithesis of whatever she says or believes. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because it's essentially fan service. This is content that only appeals to woke, smug liberals who like to see, the people that disagree with them, their old, ignorant, in their view, family members dismissed and derided and condescended to and made fun of. But in the process, this kind of content isolates normal people who aren't already in that camp and actually turns people off to whatever ideas are being advocated, even when those ideas like, hey, don't judge people for their tattoos, just let them do whatever they want, it's their body, are pretty reasonable and I think pretty palatable to most Americans who have this kind of live and let live mentality. But no, she, with this approach that makes me want to pull my hair out, literally is turning people away from whatever she's saying, at least normal, sane people, all just to kind of rile up her core base audience and make them feel good, and they can have a smug little laugh at the ignorant rube's expense. It's a totally self-destructive political and social media exercise, and I honestly find it contemptible. And guys, it's not like us reading into it that this is supposed to be condescending and dismissive and a mockery of the people she disagrees with. She has pretty much admitted as much. Let's take a listen to this follow-up video where she explains.
Hi, friend. It's time for me to tell you something that my followers have known for a long time. Whenever you see a video that says this sort of thing at the top, I am condescending on purpose. The satire is that I'm making fun of you for being offended by weird shit. A boy having nail polish? Why do you care? I don't know what argument y'all think you're making all the time. You are mean about skits. Do you send emails to SNL every single week? Don't answer that. I'm sure some of you do. But at the end of the day, people are gonna say shit you don't like. Just stop commenting on their pages and move on. Which is why I largely ignore you. So here, in my happy little corner of the internet, I make skits, making fun of people by talking to them like they're a baby. I actually talk to children way more on the same level. Everybody's like, do you talk to kids that way? No, because I respect children. I do not respect people who do not respect other people's human rights.
Whew. So, babe, I know you compared yourself to SNL, and I know you say these are skits, but there isn't a funny part. There's no ha 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 moment. It's just like nails on a chalkboard. I will say this, though, at least she's self-aware that she's an incredibly condescending and close-minded person, and that she does not respect and, in fact, looks down upon the people who disagree with her. I'm glad she admitted that, because at least now we can know I think we already knew this, but now we can know with certainty that we don't need to listen to her. She's not a remotely serious person and doesn't think critically or engage with ideas she disagrees with. She just dismisses them like anyone who disagrees with her is a mental toddler. I will never take that approach to politics, and I think it's one of the most corrosive and divisive attitudes that's unfortunately rising in this country, where you don't even listen to or have any respect for people that disagree with you. You think they're just completely unredeemable and are never right about anything. They're just mental midgets. This is the approach that you see more and more. And I wouldn't say just on the left, but especially on the hard woke progressive left. They do this and they just dismiss other people's views point blank and condescend to them and think they're better than them. And babe, it is not working out for you. Obviously, this is just one tiny, tiny little sliver, an example, and isn't actually to blame for this, but these attitudes, this way of condescending to older Americans, to rural Americans, to more conservative Americans, and looking down on them from your liberal bubbles is literally why we got Trump. So anyway, your content is just pandering to your core audience of fans while making you incredibly unlikable and turning off anybody who's not already firmly in your ideological camp. I'm sure you're making some bucks from the creator fund, so hope it's worth it. You guys let me know what you think of this TikToker's content in the comments below, and do remember to hit that like button to reward me suffering through this genuinely terrible, painful content.